A dominant male chimpanzee can have his choice of females in the group. However, other males are constantly competing for his mate as well. In fact, when a female chimp gives birth to a dominant male's offspring, oftentimes a competing male will kill the infant chimp when the opportunity permits. Man, and we get upset when somebody just look at our girl. Subsequently, this female chimp will leave that dominant male and choose the male chimp that killed her infant as her mate. To humans, this may seem brutal, but this is common amongst primates. Because that dominant male could not protect her offspring, the female chimp sees the attacker as a more viable option because she knows he won't kill an infant of his own, thereby enabling her to reproduce. Y'all, I swear that title wasn't clickbait. I didn't reel y'all in to talk about Caesar on the Planet of the Apes. It definitely goes along with the discussion. Hello everyone, I'm Lieber Linder, and if you found this video, then obviously Kevin Samuels needs no introduction. This is in no way a personal attack. It is, however, an in-depth review that I'm sure even Kevin Samuels himself would agree with by the end of this series. But before I get into the title of the video, it's very important we talk about biological imperatives, which tie into my stance. So what are biological imperatives? Biological imperatives are simply the needs of all living organisms that are required to perpetuate the existence of that organism. In other words, what keeps the species from going extinct? The two biological imperatives that I want to discuss are survival and reproduction. That's survival and reproduction. It's common sense that if a species are unable to sustain life or create new life, they'll eventually go extinct. So both of these imperatives, while different, they are equally important. In humans, both the male and female of the species play a role in both survival and reproduction. However, by design, our share of the responsibility of each differs dramatically. Women, by design, bear the brunt of reproduction, while survival falls in the hands of the men. And this is also by design, and I'll explain. So when we talk about survival, I like to describe it using the acronym SIMP. Nope. Not that overly used word that now describes any man that doesn't have a disdain for women. I mean SIMP, as in survival involves men providing and protecting. SIMP. Survival involves men providing and protecting, acquiring provisions needed to sustain life, and protection from threats against life and said provisions. So the male of the species, by design, are the providers and protectors. We have twice the arm strength of women. We have more size, more muscle mass, and resilience to mental health issues due to trauma and stress. We have evolved to be the survival arm of our species. Since the dawn of civilization, men have formed alliances with other men in order to enhance our ability to provide and protect. So in forming these alliances, they also had to create governing rules, regulations, customs, and courtesies that were instrumental to the prosperity of their group, their tribe, their community. In other words, men build and maintain communities in order to fulfill our biological imperative of survival. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ecstatic I was blessed with the gift of life. So when men fail to fulfill our role, humanity ceases to exist. Hold that thought and let's get into the topic. Kevin Samuels, self-proclaimed image consultant. He wants to help people look good, smell great, and become the best version of themselves. He says that he wants to see black men and black women married and coupled. He primarily speaks to women on his shows, and his show has, we see several themes on his show. It is revealed that a lot of women have unrealistic standards. They aren't doing a great job of vetting the men they get into relationship with, and that women don't know what men want. And this is just to name a few. There are many more points that he makes, but I'll just stop there. On the surface, he has an admirable stated goal, and many people wouldn't argue with the points I just listed. However, neither of those has any bearing on the overall message of his platform. I'll explain. Let's listen to this quote. Obstacles do not exist to be surrendered to, but only to be broken. I'll say it again. Obstacles do not exist to be surrendered to, but only to be broken. That's an excellent point, right? Extremely motivating, extremely true. That quote was from Adolf Hitler. Now, of course, I'm not saying Samuels is synonymous with Hitler. I just use it to display that good points don't necessarily add up to an overall great message. Which brings me to my thought. The Kevin Samuels show is, in fact, counterproductive to the black community. And I say this because his rise to fame is based on his portrayal of women as the cause of dysfunctional black communities. I'm not one to just make a claim and not back it up. I'm going to break this video into two parts. In this first part, I'll explain how he portrays black women as the cause of dysfunction. In the second part, I'll tell you exactly why this behavior is counterproductive and lay out an alternative method for improving the conditions in our community. So, why do I say Kevin Samuels' platform portrays black women as the cause of a dysfunctional community? Well, first of all, his platform is a textbook example of propaganda. Night in and night out, he puts the worst behavior of black women on display. Anyone continually watching this show is given an image nightly of either angry women calling in or women being ridiculed for their deficiencies. Now, I can understand people saying the women voluntarily call into the show, but let me show you why it doesn't make a difference. What Kevin Samuels does is he picks a topic. He'll set tight parameters on that topic, making it hard to argue. It's almost impossible to argue that point. Then he'll only want to hear from the women who disagree with the points that he makes. Of course, virtually all of the women he speaks with will be dysfunctional women, attention seekers, and women who just hate his guts and they ready for a chance to finally just get on air, act the fool, and curse him out. So automatically, we're going to see the worst of black women on display. It will be like me having a show where I say, black men, it is not okay to be down low. And I'm only taking calls from black men that disagree. Okay, yep. Then we get mad when people say, man, I guess black men really are down low. Look at how many support this behavior. See how that works? Kevin also ridicules these women, calling them Big Shirley and playing that Oompa Loompa trumpet and just making them look stupid when they call. We can say it's all funny, it's lighthearted and just a joke, but how would Kevin Samuels react if he played that trumpet and one of his callers played propaganda? Kevin even had a men's week with the same format he used with the women. He didn't do anywhere near as many interviews. The shows were shorter, and one of the few videos he did wasn't even posted at all. It was too embarrassing for men. Kevin constantly states he wants to improve the image of black men in the media, and I guess that wasn't a good look. So if 1 week of dysfunctional men was detrimental to black men's overall image, how much damage do you think occurs to black women's image when he displays their dysfunction over and over again, week in and week out? It's propaganda showing black women as the cause of the state of our community. And we can look no further than the aforementioned Hitler to outline the dangers that propaganda can cause. Okay, and this is reason number 2 why I say Kevin Samuels' platform portrays black women as the cause of a dysfunctional community. And this is an easy one, because he outright says it repeatedly. Over and over, you hear him say, it's not the men. Then he'll claim that it's backed up by facts, data, and statistics. He'll cite 51% of black men are single and childless, and 64% of those men are in the middle class. It's not the men. Not mentioning that by those numbers, that's still only 33% of black men who are single, childless, and in the middle class. He'll also say stuff like black men on average only make $11,000 less than white men. It's not the men. He's not mentioning that income and net worth are not the same thing. I can make $100,000 a year. If my bills are $102,000 a year, I'm dead broke. Finally, he said it was black women that chose feminism, welfare, and the government, and kicked black men out of the home in the 60s. This is why our community is the way it is today. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And one of the top excuses inadequate black men give for not taking accountability for the conditions of our community. Black women, will y'all please tell us where this meeting with white women in the government took place? Or did they all just come door to door like Jehovah's Witnesses? Did y'all sneak out to the mailbox and not get caught like Celie on The Color Purple? Did y'all set up another underground railroad behind black men's back? Anyway, once it was all set up and y'all agreed, once y'all got offered all these goodies, when did y'all accept them? When did y'all go home and say, Cephas, get your damn ass out this house. I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man. Poor Cephas. He was providing his family with the best life he could. But he was no match for those powerful feminists in that government. And then his woman betrayed him, and now he got kicked out the house. Yeah, where the hell did Cephas go? Where did all these homeless black men go after the woman came home and kicked us all out the doggone house and chose feminism and the government? Was that the first Million Man March? And as silly and illogical as this sounds to the rest of the planet, you still have fuckers regurgitating this crap and claiming to be thinking black men. Let me get off here before I get pissed. So Kevin's show not only implies, but he also expressly states that black women are the cause of the dysfunctional black community we see today. In part 2, I'll not only discuss why this is problematic, but more importantly, I'll give a viable alternative to begin healing in our communities. Please tune in, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. This is Libra Linder, over and out. I guess Pookie and Ray Ray goddamn moved in after all the husbands got kicked.